aquaculture feed formulation. Before we start, are going to introduce our products and introduce our company, and then followed by the second part and third part about the bile acid functions and bile acid application. The part one, product and company presentation. La Chance Group, Shandong Longhorn Animal Health Product. The main product here is our Reunion, and this is the bile acid, the pure bile acid products, and the main function is to improve the fatty delivery and increase the liver metabolic ability, which means we could increase the diet fat level. We have also another two plant extracts. It's the Happiness 100 and the Eucalyptus, and there are plant-based extracted products. La Chance, La Chance is the first company producing bile acid for animal industry, and they are the standard setter for the bile acid production. Also, our company have the owns the intelligence property of the bile acid production lines according to the last and the state-of-art technology to produce such fatty acids in low cost and high efficiency. Our annually sells about $300 million. La Chance company have a little long history on the development to the industry, starting from the 2004 and passing by many main changes in our company development, reaching till the have many branches around the world and producing enough production quantity for our customer around the world. La Chance vision, it's to help 6,000 outstanding feed companies and farming practitioners to create wealth in a green production way. And our mission is to focus more on the R&D research, natural products, and with low cost and optimized production system. Also, we have other products that are related to the acidifiers, including calcium formate and potassium diformate, and also including the sodium diacetate. Recently, we have finished the construction of the industrial park. It's have the most recent technology in bile acid production, and it's a global largest bile acid industry park, especially for animal health. And the bile acid mandatory standard setter, as we with a cooperation with the Chinese government to set such kind of standard. The production capacity is about 60,000 tons a year, and there are a full industrial chain starting from the raw material production till the final product and packing. The industrial park is fully automatic and using the new technology and computer system both to control the production system. Also, like the product quality, there are product quality control system, and because this quality is very important, that we are sure that our product is high efficient and at standard level. Also, there is an integrated manufacturing design. It's providing us with a low cost, low energy, and optimize the production level. On the green environment issues, that the wastewater and the gas and wastewater, they come out of the factory, they are treated properly in a green way, that to keep the environment clean and sustainable. The technical team in our company is not just we only have professional people in R&D department that they are trying to optimize our product applications, but also we have a consult team from a high level scientist with experience in industry and research. Also, we have specified teams. They are specialized in some in animals and not another. For example, like we have the poultry team and we have the livestock team technical, and also the aqua team, and the last is the ruminant team. The R&D potence, we have the fatty acid determination ability, and we have the amino acid determination facilities also. In addition to the oil quality test, which means that we prepare a quality report and to evaluate such kind of oil sources for our customers around the world. And by the end, we have also the mycotoxin test to determine which one of the raw material have more or less one or two or other mycotoxins. Regarding to the academic consultants, it's a kind of platform that we are in a cooperation with other scientists. They are very specialized in nutrition and fatty acid metabolism, that we have a kind of cooperation and consultant to get to the state of art of what we are working on. And in our case, it's here the bile acid. Our department of R&D have some achievements and cooperation with many high and prestigious universities in domestic and international. Also, there's many scientific articles have been published in prestigious journals, indicating that we are in a solid way to achieve high productivity and high efficiency for our products. There is some examples of those products, and they are also available to our customer when you need more information about it. And here's also the rest of the list. Regarding to the intellectual property, that we are leading the bile acid production technology and bile acid product efficiency. We owing the state of art of this technology. We're trying to invent with other professional people that we have such kind of technological and advanced system of production, and also is registered as efficient for our company. Also here, there's some certificates for the new products we have, and the quality evaluation that we have from the related authorities in China and in other countries. Here, as I have mentioned earlier, that our company is the fatty acid production standard. Why we do this? We do this because we have looked to the market, and we found that there are many bile acid products in the market, and these bile acid products or bile salt products, they are not the same. Different colors, different in physical appearance, and they are different in many ways. That means that the market is still at the early growing level, that we are our duty to try to advance this market by trying to set some rules and set some standard for the production. And then the last aim is that the final aim is to improve the industry for bile acid and improve the safety and profitability for the product. Also, the bile acid presses regulations for raw material that guarantee that safety not only for animal but also for human consumption. The main markets that actually we have our products extended and reached many international and main producing companies in China and around the world, different countries and different continents, that we are exporting these products to them, and they are approved, whether it's by our own experiments or scientific experiments or by their own experiments, and is approved to have this kind of thing. As you see in these pictures, you have different activities around the world with our professional sales teams, marketing teams, and technical teams around the world. We are trying our best to reach it everywhere. Here is some cases from different countries that they actually tried it without like it's kind of a practical evidence that we have tried them and then they have solid results for that. So here we come to the second part, which mainly is about the bile acid function, which prepare us to know some advanced or some information on the feed formulation for low cost and better achievement. Depends on our discussion on the bile acid function. We are going here to represent about six or is about eight parts in this part. The first one is the fatty acid delivery, and here we mean three parts. The first one is emulsification, which means we divide the big droplet of lipids to small one. We increase the surface, so we increase the interaction with the lipase. The second one is the digestion, that the lipase itself do its work, and at this stage that the fat is getting break down to the fatty acids. And the last one is absorption. After fatty acid is free and with triglyceride, they come together in amylase and then combined with the bile acid, and the bile acid help them to be delivered to the receptor and transporter, and then the bile acid back again to repeat the same function. Next, the fatty liver control. So fatty liver control, how it's happened. If you increase the fat level in the diet, that means you will increase the fatty liver. But when you use the bile acid, there is nothing about the fatty liver. Why? Because the fatty acid is not just emulsifier. Fatty acid also work on the main two PPAR master genes. This master gene, they master the mechanism. The one is called the PPAR alpha. This is the second line, and this increases the fatty acid oxidation directly. Another one is the PPAR gamma, and this one is moving the fatty acid from the body to the liver to be oxidized. So the bile acid doesn't work only at the intestine as an emulsifier, but also work in the liver, work in the muscle, work also in the subcutaneous tissues and store fat in the body. The third point, it's about intestinal damage repair. In this part, we explain how the bile acid improves the intestinal health. There is some kind of bacteria, mycotoxins, or even plant protein sources. They have anti-nutrition factors or have the negative effect on the intestine. For example, the bacteria. The bacteria have some toxins that affect the intestinal health and affect also the abundance of the healthy bacteria. And here the bile acid encourage the healthy bacteria over the negative or the pathogenic bacteria. This is number one. Number two is the mycotoxin. Mycotoxin, they are toxins. They are affecting the health of the intestinal cells. And here the bile acid come and chelate them and hold them, which means the bile acid inactivates these toxins, which means we protect the intestinal wall function. And the last one, there is any kind of pathogenic bacteria or mycotoxins or toxins or any kind of strange bodies come to the body. It's induce the inflammation and induce the ROS production. The ROS production, this is with what we call is reactive oxygen species. And here the bile acid also hold these molecules and protect the intestine. As we see in the picture, the healthy one is the green one. There are healthy bacteria, there are mucus layer and so on. As we see in this picture, this is the experiment that we try to explain how the bile acid hold the mycotoxin. And here, as we see over there is when you decrease the bile acid concentration, you increase the mycotoxin abundance, and the opposite is right. The next here we can summarize how the bile acid decrease the mycotoxin. The next slide we can see there is four ways. There's four ways. The first one is the bile acid form a complex with the mycotoxin, which means deactivates the mycotoxin activities. Second is bile acid directly holds the ROS, as we have said, this is the free radical, which means we decrease the free radical come from the mycotoxin contamination. The third one is the bile acid induce the RXR, and this RXR receptor send a message to the liver to increase the protein production. They are responsible for mycotoxin detoxification. The last one is increase mycotoxin degradation bacteria. The same bacteria in the intestine, the same bacteria they are consuming the bile acid. They are the same bacteria they are detoxifying the mycotoxin, which means we feed the mycotoxin, we increase the bacteria, which increase the mycotoxin degradation. The next is that heat stress. Heat stress is more obvious in the poultry, but here in the fish is a little different. In the fish, that when you increase the heat or the temperature, it affects the fish metabolism. When you increase the temperature level, there is activated metabolism. And there is no problem with the activated metabolism, but the problem if you continue to activate the metabolism, and then it means you have a continuous metabolic waste. In this way, that the body increase the ROS level, and in this case, the bile acid holds this ROS as we have explained earlier. At the left side, that is the direct reaction response from the fish when you increase the heat stress, that there is the heat shock protein expression increase, and this is have a negative effect on the immune and the inflammation. And in this way, that this negative could be manipulated by the bile acid by increasing the PBAR alpha activity, which means increase the fatty acid oxidation. The last one is the microbiota composition. The microbiota composition, when you change the microbiota composition, which means you change the bile acid metabolism in the intestine, and this reflected to the metabolism in the liver. In this case, when we apply the bile acid, you are going to encourage the favorable bacteria, which they are already using the bile acid, and that means they are competitive against the pathogenic bacteria. In this one, the molting enhancer, and molting enhancer especially for shrimp, it means, as we can summarize this one, that when the shrimp come to the molting stage, it needs more energy to sensitize more enzymes, sensitize more proteins, sensitize such kind of exoskeleton. Yeah, in this case, you need energy, so it can be provided by the bile acid, as the bile acid induces the fatty acid oxidation in the liver. In addition, that the bile acid synthesis, it comes also by addition of bile acid. This bile acid synthesis increases the cholesterol, and this cholesterol is related to the molting hormone. So when you add bile acid, you increase the cholesterol, you increase the molting hormone synthesis, which means you increase the ability. And the last one is the disease control. When the shrimp exchange the old exoskeleton by new one, there is in this area, in this period of time, that the shrimp, they are a little weak to bear the pathogenic bacterial invasion. So when you use the bile acid control the pathogenic bacteria, and it helps you. And we will know later how that happened by bile acid. Here, this is the disease prevention, as we just have mentioned now, that the disease prevention, we can take a look here how it's happened. Yeah. So here we divide it to three sections. The first one is pathogens, how the bile acid interacts with pathogens. The second one is how bile acid interacts with intestine, and the third one, how the bile acid interacts with liver. When you come to the pathogen, there is a direct way. The first is that the bile acid as emulsifier come to the bacterial cell wall and attach to it and break it down, and then the bacteria die. And the second one is that, and also that these bacteria produce some toxins. These toxins go to attack the shrimp and attack the fish. In this case, the bile acid holds these toxins and prevent their effect. In addition to the indirect way, how it's come in the indirect way? There is some other bacterial toxins, but there is no a direct interaction with the bile acid. But they go to the body and make some side effects, including inflammation and weaken immune response and something like that. But the bile acid go to the other way and try to control and decrease this side effect. The second part is about the intestine. So the intestine directly, it's hurt by the free radical, which we call it ROS molecules. And here the bile acid can control this kind of molecules. Also, the indirect way that the bacteria the bacteria which are responsible for the producing short chain fatty acids, this kind of bacteria can consume the bile acid. What does it mean? What does it mean if we supply some bile acid? It means we support this kind of good bacteria, and they are going to produce more and more short chain fatty acids. Here's the point. Short chain fatty acids, as they are already acids, they are going to increase the pH, which is very healthy for the intestinal structure, for the villi length, villi width, and other important features. The last part is related to the liver. The first is how the bile acid affects the liver function, how it's called. The first is prevent fatty liver, because it means a fatty liver, it means high load and high stress over the liver, which means the liver cannot do its own function. So the bile acid increase this kind of if we back to the last slide, please. We haven't finished it. So the liver here is about the function. So hold the ROS, prevent fatty acid liver, and also do the detoxification and toxin elimination. And the last part, and this actually is a new part, new thinking even in science, the last few years, that the bile acid increase the bile acid circulation, which means this circulation of the bile acid from the liver to the intestine, from the intestine to the liver, it gives a chance to the liver to transfer this kind of immune proteins, come to the intestine and protect the intestine against the pathogenic. And here we come to this slide that we already have now on the screen. It's about the feed intake. As you know that sometimes when we go to the kitchen and cook something delicious to eat, and then we try to clean the chicken we have, and sometimes we do a mistake and rupture this bile, and then it comes to the meat and make the meat a little bitterness, So basically, this bile acid have a bitterness test. So how the bile acid increase the feed intake if they already are bitterness? Actually, it depends on the recommendation or recommended level. If you supply bile acid high quantity, it's going to have this bitterness. But if you are applying the bile acid at the recommended level, that they are not reached to that level of giving that much bitterness test. That means this bitterness test is increase the growth by inducing the immune and the glucose metabolism and increase the insulin sensitivity. But there is another step for this one. The bile acid uses the same transporter of amino acid, which means amino acid in the mind knows there is amino acid passing by this transporter, or bile acid passing by this transporter. It gives a message to the brain and telling that the fish, this food is very delicious, because the bile acid uses the same channel of amino acid. The next is bile acid applications. Here we are going to present some examples of how the bile acid application improves the fish. But actually, as we know in science, that we design the experiment to answer one or two questions, and in this way we are more or high effect. Here I can show you the condition, and then we understand that the bile acid even have more ability, more than what we can see in the paper. For example, this is about the Pacific white shrimp. There is two studies here, and there is also another one. Here is the soybean protein is too high. It is about 70, and the cottonseed meal is about another 70, but the fish meal is only 100, which means it's about yeah, about 40% fish meal and about 60 or 70% plant protein source. And here it have been used. This is about 1 gram per kilogram, and then we have found that the shrimp growth improved, but actually is not that much. When we go to the second body weight is not so obvious. It's not because the bile acid doesn't work. It's because the design here was only focused to answer this question. So we are going to show you that other research have obvious effect that we can understand that how bile acid more strong. When you come to the tilapia here, the next slide, that we see that they have been using about 0.15 gram per kilo, and it's increased the growth rate by 10%. Actually, even it's a low dose of bile acid, but here it's for yeah, it's for tilapia. You know, they are not carnivorous, so it's more kind of good effect. The next slide is about the largemouth bass. It's a bass, but it's a freshwater fish, and also, as we have said before, that we are trying to answer some questions, and here it's improved the gut barrier, improved the gut microbiota using this 300 milligram per kilogram. And the second slide, the second study that also improves the BUFA. And BUFA, you know, here it's a fat soluble nutrients, which means when we use the bile acid, we increase the liberation of these ones, and they are already available for the body. Next slide here is about the common carp, and here actually this study is designed to be more industrial experiment. Which means they already got the bad effect. You have been using much protein sources, plant protein sources, and the other side use the same diet with bile acid, enough level of bile acid. Here increase the body weight by 40%. That is why when we take a look to any kind of research paper, we need to understand the experimental design and the question we need to answer and the results, and they're related to the experimental design, then we can know where we are. So for example, here is 40%. It's a very big number. If your fish reaches like 100, and the other fish with bile acid can be 140 grams, it means you increase your profit by 40%. It's a very big number, and it deserves for more studies. The second one is here is this is the Tongus solo. This is the solia. This kind of fish also they increase body weight by 36%. This is actually when you use many other kind of feed additives, they increase the growth might be 5-10%, and it's very satisfying. But when we come to 30-40%, this is breakthrough. Is deserved to try and deserve to get these benefits for our companies, our work, our families, and our society by the end. So here, this is some recommendation. How we got this recommendation? Actually, this recommendation depends on research analysis. Next slide, please. It depends on the literature analysis. Depends on the field trials. It depends on the customer observation. And we got you here the recommendation level for the bile acid doses. And as a herbivorous fish, it could be from 200 to 500 per ton, and for carnivorous from 1 to 2 kilograms per ton, and for shrimp it's about 800 to 1 kilo per ton. And why here the dose is a little, the range is a little wider, because it depends on your depends on your diet composition. So what kind of problems or what kind of obstacles you have in your diet is how much bile acid level you can use in your farm. So other one, some people can use 200, some other people use 500, and in all cases you will have profits, but depends on the condition you have in your situation. And actually, here it's the end of my presentation. But I would like to say that the bile acid have interaction with other feed additives. Some of them have positive effect, and some of them they have a negative effect. For example, let's focus on the negative. That if you have polyphenols, if you have seaweed products, if you have antibiotics, if you have toxin binder, you need to use most of them in while you are using your bile acid. Here you can find the bile acid effect is higher and better depending on your situation, depending on understanding the effect of bile acid. Here is the end of my presentation, and I would like to thank you all for your listening, and I'm very happy to receive any kind of questions. So if you have any question, feel free to write down to the chat, and I will be immediately try to do my best to give you the best answer.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Abdallah. Dr. Abdallah talked about renewing functions of bile acids as well as the formulation of aquatic feed. I think there are some quite new insights in aquaculture. If you have any questions, just like Dr. Abdallah said, please feel free to ask. You can send your questions to the chatting box. Well, the first question that we got is, how is bile acid used in carnivorous fish, such as sea bass? What are the effects, Dr. Abdallah?
Yeah. Generally, the carnivorous fish, they are using a high level of fish meal and also high level of fish oil. And when we replace such fish meal and fish oil, that we have a large amount of different sources. In this case, that you give the fish a large quantity of fatty acid and amino acid they don't need, which means you waste your protein or you increase the fat deposition on the liver or even decrease the growth. In case you use the bile acid, that means you increase the fatty acid oxidation, which means you don't have a problem with such kind of unfavorable fatty acid come to the sea bass or seaweed diet. In this case, you improve their growth, and you can use different kind of alternative to the fish meal and fish oil at the same time.
Okay, thank you, Dr.